It's saying I'm live. It's saying I'm live, so that's good. That's good. Look at me. I'm in regular clothes again. It's Sunday. I had family pictures made today. It's always fun for me. I do about once every 2 decades. So anyhow, the reason I do these videos, the reason I do these is to give hope to people who are in an otherwise hopeless situation. And who is that? Well, that's you, and that's me. So the way that I've acquired this hope, the way that I've gained that is by um, it's by evidence. It's by evidence. It's by reading uh, and searching in different places for that hope. Well, I found that in the Bible, in, in Christ specifically. He is the centerpiece of the Bible. He is God's plan of salvation in fruition, and it's just a little insight of what we're doing here in this advanced study, in case it's just popping in for whatever reason. Um, in chapter 4 of this book, this is not a canonized gospel. It's okay. It's okay. Um, you can Google a lot of things. So where we are at is Christ was born. I'm going to run through this with you from this book, the Book of Infancy. Christ was born in a cave. Mary went into labor as they was traveling into this town. She has a child. It pretty much follows the King James version. They end up in an inn, in a hotel, motel, whatever, because they're out of town to pay taxes because a raiser of taxes, Caesar Augustus, put out a decree that all the earth should be taxed. And we were on our way to a global situation and some other things. Um, so as they're in the inn, the wise men come, all these things happen, okay? And an angel comes to Joseph. This is the second time that an angel has came to Joseph and said, "Get up, take the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and the things of value that these wise men give you, because you're going to have to run. You're going to have to keep it moving for a while." Why? Well, that's what we're getting to in this book. That's what this book is about. Is To me, it is Mary and Joseph trying to do the best as they possibly can as they raise God from a child. Uh, they raise God's son. Okay, we'll put it that way. This is deeper stuff. Again, this is an advanced study. That's why I'm giving you a little bit of a breakdown here. I marked where I left off, and I appreciate y'all reading with me. So, when in verse 19 of the Book of Infancy, the 4th chapter, if you want to Google it, the son answered. Okay, the son. What son are we talking about? Let me get you up to speed. This is the son of the high priest of whatever god they were worshiping in Egypt before Jesus Christ, Mary, and Joseph showed up there because they had to run from Bethlehem. Okay, so they come into Egypt. When they arrive, the idols fall down. It begins their holy of holies in the Egyptian place. Their idols begin to tell them that a higher powers came, and they all toppled. Okay, so it's a big deal. There's a kind of a tragedy that happened in Egypt to the Egyptians, is what it would seem when Jesus Christ got to town. When he came to town, when God arrived on the scene, when the high God, the God of Egypt, the God of Mesopotamia, the God of um, Buddhism, the God of uh, I could go on and on, but I won't do it. The God of Valhalla. Listen, why do I say that? Why would I say such a thing? He is good. He is Christ's Father. Listen, when Moses asked God, "Who do I tell these people sent me? Who do I say sent me?" He said, "You tell them I am that I am sent you." That means I don't answer to nobody. Nobody. So the elders in Egypt, again, at that time when Moses was at, we're back in Egypt. You see how this thing's working? Yeah. So I'm losing where I'm going. I gotta stay on point. So that's who the son is. Is the son of the priest of Baal, I think. Baal is who this priest, his son was, vexed with demons, and the son answered. They're questioning the son now. How did you get sane? How did you get normal um, from being possessed with so many demons and throwing yourself in the fire and trying to drown yourself and the things that people do when they are possessed? Okay, they're possessed with darkness, with evil, with confusion. Darkness, confusion, darkness. When you walk around in the dark, you bump your toes, you trip over things. It's not good. Verse 19. The son answered, "When the devil sees me, when the darkness sees him, I went into the inn, the motel, hotel where Mary, Joseph, and Jesus were staying, and there found a very handsome woman with a boy, Mary, a good-looking woman with a boy whose swaddling clothes she had just before washed and hanged upon a post." So this child of the priest is telling this story that he went into the inn. He was walking about wherever he wanted. They said he would throw rocks at people and things. He grabs a swaddling cloth from Christ and puts it over his head. Well, there's a lot of things watching out for this infant in the supernatural. Okay, so to say that his swaddling clothes would heal someone, well, spit did. You hear me? His spit healed someone. If you know your Bible, it's hard to make an opinion on things that you have not read. So let's read. So she hung those swaddling clothes on a post. This devil-possessed boy came along, put them on his head, and he was cured. Verse 20, one of these I took and put it upon my head, and immediately the devils left me and fled away. At this, the father exceedingly rejoiced and said, "My son, perhaps this boy," now this priest of Baal was saying this, "My son, perhaps this boy, this child whose swaddling clothes you got, is the son of the living God, who made the heavens and the earth. For as soon as he came amongst us, the idol was broken, and all the gods fell down and were destroyed by a greater power. Then was fulfilled the prophecy which saith," verse 23, "then was fulfilled the prophecy which saith, out of Egypt have I called my son." And God will call Christ out of Egypt at some point. Right now, he's living there for a minute. So I'll go on to verse 5. I'm almost 10 minutes. I'll go 15 minutes. These are short verses. Now Joseph and Mary, when they heard that the idol was fallen down and destroyed, were seized with fear and trembling, and said, "When we were in the land of Israel, Herod, intending to kill Jesus, this child, slew for that purpose all the infants at Bethlehem in that neighborhood." And they did. Well, we can't really document that. There was a lot of things that happened whenever the Library of Rome burnt under Nero. We lost a lot of information, documentation, but we kept a lot. Anyhow, let me move forward. Verse 2. And there is no doubt. So Mary and Joseph are afraid. They were scared. When these idols fell down, that was a big deal to these people. And not only that, but need to remind you, they're making a lot of money off this idol and all this stuff. Uh, there's some people making a lot of money from it. Just like I hear people sometimes bash Joel Osteen a little bit. Well, let me tell you something, man. On that level, Joel Osteen is making a ton of money, and he is a lot of people's cash cow, and his life is in danger, probably. His children's lives. You know, there's things that this world is tough to make it in. Okay, it just is. I hope that's not the case for him. Let me move forward. I'm getting caught up in my own things here. So here, Jesus or Joseph and Mary are afraid that when these Egyptians find out, let's just read what it says. Verse 2, and there is no doubt but the Egyptians, if they come near this idol, is broken down and fallen down, will burn us with fire. When they all grieve this idol that just fell down, because we know what we just brought into town. We know what happened. There's infanticide, infanticide. Whenever people kill infants, is happening in Bethlehem. They're slaughtering the boys 2 years old and under, looking for him because their astrologers saw him coming in the stars. Moving forward, they went therefore hence to the secret places of robbers, who robbed travelers as they passed by of their carriages and their clothes, and carried them away bound. So they're going down the back roads now. They're running again, because when these Egyptians find out that God's presence was not going to tolerate uh, that idol, that inanimate whatever it is that they were worshiping. Because why? Because his salvation, his son is on the scene. And Jesus Christ is the apple of God's eye. He is his shining achievement. You understand? Jesus Christ is Yahweh's shining achievement. Us we'll be okay because of him if we pick that up. Let's read further. So Mary and Joseph are on the back roads with robbers running from these Egyptians. And they're saying that these robbers who robbed travelers as they passed by of their carriages and their clothes and carried them away bound. So they took their carriages, their clothes, they bound them, and they're human trafficking. Okay, that's what's happening. Verse 4, these thieves upon their coming heard a great noise, such as the noise of a king with a great army and many horses, and the trumpet sounding at his departure from his own city, at which they were affrighted, as to leave all their booty behind them and fly away in haste. So they think that an army is coming, an established king is coming, because God's making a way for his son. He's taking care of him. This is going to be fair, and God's going to make sure of it. I mean, is it fair that these robbers would by force take Mary, Joseph, and Jesus' free will and kill them and stop God's plan from moving forward by cheating like that? No. If everything, we don't censor things, they take the natural course. That's the way it should be. I mean, not get myself in trouble. So these robbers left all their booty, thought they heard a big army coming, and you can find this out. There was a 3-day war in Israel, and if you dig into it, you'll find out that Israel was surrounded, their tanks, and they saw the opposing army saw something that looked like a massive army that was coming for them, and Israel won this war when it was outnumbered severely. And this was in I was the 70s, maybe 80s. I don't know, but so this is not a over the top thing that is going on here. God is taking care of His Son. He's not going to let a bunch of robbers murder them and steal their stuff on their way, as they're already running from some priests. Yeah, some Egyptian priests. Verse 5. Upon this, the prisoners arose and loosed each other's bonds, very symbolic, and taking each man his bags, they went away, and saw Joseph and Mary coming towards them, and inquired, "Where is that king?" The noise of whose approach the robbers heard, and left us, so that we are now come off safe. Joseph answered, "He will come after us." So Joseph is being smart here. One was Joseph just lied. No, no, he knew what these guys were. He was being wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. Is what he was doing. He was not going to tell them, "No, we don't have any protection coming. There's not a king coming, or there's nobody to help us if you decide to rob us." He's not going to tell them that. That would be stupid of him. That would be stupid of him. We are not. We don't have to be stupid to be a Christian, or naive, or put ourselves. Don't cast your pearls before swine. I mean, it's a really simple way to put it. These people would have, if Joseph would have told them, "There's nobody coming. We have gold, frankincense, and myrrh." They had a lot of valuable stuff on them. And these men were probably stronger than Joseph and outnumbered him. So, no, he's not going to tell them that there's not a king coming. He's saying, yeah, you guys better keep on going the way he was going, and Joseph's going to go on. And they're going to escape the Egyptians. All right, so I'm 17 minutes in here. Shortest sermon you'll get. Prayers for everybody who wants them. Talk to your Father, will make His day, and He'll make yours. Only plow, and Christ's name always.